Chapter 9, Dharani. At that time the Bhagavan addressed Mahamati, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. Mahamati, you should hold forth these magical phrases of the Lankavatara, which are recited, and will be recited by the Buddhas of the past, present, and future. I will recite them here for the benefit of the proclaimers of the Dharma, who will retain them in memory. They are Tute, Tute, Vute, Vute, Pate, Pate, Kate, Kate, Amale, Amale, Vimale, Vimale, Nime, Nime, Hime, Hime, Vame, Vame, Kale, 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 Ate, Mate, Vate, Tuje, Nete, Spute, Kati, Kati, Late, Pate, Dime, Dime, Kali, Kali, Pese, Pache, Bate, Bande, Anche, Manche, Dutare, Dutare, Patare, Patare, Ake, Arke, Sarke, Sarke, Katre, Kakre, Dime, Dime, Hime, Hime, Tu, 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 Du, 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 Ru, 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 Fu, 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 Swaha. These Mahamati are the magical phrases of the Lankavatara Mahayana Sutra. If sons and daughters of good family should hold forth, retain, proclaim, realize these magical phrases, no one should be ever able to effect his descent upon them, whether it be a god or a goddess, or a naga or a nagi, or a yaksha or a yakshi, or an asura or an asuri, or a garuda or a garudi, or a kinara or a kinari, or a maharaga or a maharagi, or a gandharva or a gandharvi, or a bhuta or a bhuti, or a kumbanda or a kumbandi, or a pisara or a pisasi, or an astaraka or an astaraki, or an apasmara or an apasmari, or a rakshasha or a rakshashi, or a daka or a dakini, or an ajuhara or an ajuhari, or a katupana or a katupani, or an amanyasha or an amanyashi. No one of these will be able to effect his or her descent upon the holder of these magical phrases. If any misfortune should befall, let him recite the magical phrases for 108 times, and the evil ones will, wailing and crying, turn away and go in another direction. I will tell you, Mahamati, other magical phrases. They are Padme, Padamave, Hine, 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 Chu, Chule, Yulu, Chule, Fale, Fula, Fule, Yule, Gule, Yula, Yule, Gule, Gula, Gule, Pale, Pala, Pale, Munse, 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 Shinde, Binde, Banje, Marde, Pramarde, Dina, Kare, Swaha. If, Mahamati, any son or daughter of good family should hold forth, retain, proclaim, and realize these magical phrases, on him or her no evil being should be able to make their descent, whether it be a god or a goddess, or a naga or a nagi, or a yaksha or a yakshi, or an asura or an asuri, or a garuda or a garudi, or a kinara or a kinari, or a maharaga or a maharagi, or a gandharva or a gandharvi, or a bhuta or a bhuti, or a kumbanda or a kumbandi, or a pisaka or a pisaki, or an ashtaraka or an astaraki, or an apasmara or an apasmari, or a rakshasha or a rakshashi, or a daka or a dakini, or an ajuhara or an ajuhari, or a katupanana or a katupanani, or an amushia or an amushi. No one of these will be able to effect his or her descent upon the holder of these magical phrases. By him who will recite these magic phrases, the whole Lankavatara Sutra will be recited. These magic phrases are given by the Blessed One to guard against the interferences of the Rakshasas. End of Chapter 9. End of the Lankavatara Sutra.